Oh, don't, because I'm going to start crying. Brilliant. There's a portrait. 24.
This picture shows Celestin Hennion in his office in the Ministry of the Interior, where he was director of the Criminal Investigation Department from 1907 to 1913.
Historian Simon Kitson has gathered together documents chronicling Hennion's career.
Your great-grandfather was a huge figure. He was a real sort of he became quite a celebrity in his own right. I mean, here's a magazine with a lovely picture of him on the front.
That's brilliant.
Some people refer to him as the father of modern policing because he wants to modernise the police. He wants to bring in ideas of using the latest techniques, using photography, using cars, using science in policing.
It's all the things we totally depend on now that we've come to just take for granted, and that's all just an integral part of policing now, isn't it?
That's right, and your great-grandfather was the person in France who is behind all this.
He sounds to me like he had a very kind of clear idea of what he wanted to do.
He was a very staunch Republican, defending the Republic, particularly against the nationalists and the anti-Semites. This was a period of considerable anti-Semitism in France. These people were involved in a movement called Action Française. Here's an article about your great-grandfather saying a rascal at the prefecture of...
Un gredin!
Yeah.
Un gredin à la préfecture de police!
And they...
A rascal!
Yeah, and he's basically being accused of being, you know, of being too Republican and being biased because he's Republican.
I kind of love that.
It's good, isn't it? So, I mean, if I was being attacked by these newspapers, I'd actually be very proud.
Very proud, yeah.
I would be extremely proud. And we have one here, Préfet de la Police Juive, the prefect of the Jewish police. And they're saying he's a Jew lover, basically. That's what they're accusing him of.
Horrible, isn't it?
Well, this article, only someone really nasty could have written this article. It's
That's quite frightening.
It is very frightening.
And very inflammatory.
And it's very inflammatory. This group, Action Française, were born at the time of something called the Dreyfus Affair. Have you come across the Dreyfus Affair?
No.
The Dreyfus Affair is probably the biggest legal case and the most famous legal trial in modern French history. Dreyfus was an army officer, a Jewish army officer, who was accused of giving documents to the Germans. He's falsely accused of espionage. Your great-grandfather was heavily involved in this trial.
Was he?
He helped Dreyfus.
I feel like crying again. I can't bear it. Honestly. It's something to be so proud
This is a man you can be very, very proud of. If
Yeah.
you're looking for monsters in your family, this guy is not the
It's
monster.
not the one.
If you like, I could put you in contact with the great-granddaughter of Alfred Dreyfus, and she will be able to tell you a lot more about the Dreyfus Affair and about the role of your great-grandfather in the Dreyfus Affair.
In his case.
Celestin Hennion became famous for defending Republican ideals against a wave of anti-Semitism. In the 1890s, hatred of the Jews was growing in France, engendered by economic crisis and an increasingly nationalistic press. When in 1894 a Jewish army officer, Captain Alfred Dreyfus, was arrested and charged with treason, the case became the catalyst for an ideological battle that would reverberate for decades. Davina's meeting Captain Dreyfus's great-granddaughter, Yael Pearl Ruiz, at the Museum of Jewish Art and History, where a statue stands in his honor.
Yael?
Hi.
Ça va?
Ça va, ça va. Et vous? Bien?
Très
Je suis
bien,
contente
très bien.
de vous connaître.
Oui, vous aussi, vous aussi.
First, I will show you a beautiful picture of Alfred Dreyfus.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful eyes.
Yes, he had beautiful eyes. He was really very serious and very good man.
Hang on. Let me show you my great-grandfather.
Wow.
He also is very serious, as you can see.
Yes, you see.
They're both kind of the same thing,
Yes.
with the moustache.
Oh, yes.
Captain Dreyfus was accused of passing secret military documents to Germany, France's long-standing enemy.
You see, it was not like a normal trial. This is a picture, you see. It was only military people.
That's
This is Dreyfus, yes. I think they are giving him the sentence. And after, they took him to the military school, and all the militaries, they were giving the back to him.
They turned their
because
back.
he's a traitor. And then one came, and they break the sword. You see? It was terrible for him, really terrible. And he was very strong, and he stood
underneath,
straight like this.
look, it says the traitor
Yes.
degradation of
Yes.
Alfred Dreyfus.
Yes.
It must have been awful for him.
Awful. He said, on dégrade un innocent, vive la France.
Despite his protestations of innocence, Dreyfus was found guilty and imprisoned on Devil's Island, a French penal colony off the coast of South America. In France, public opinion split. Some believed that the military had stage-managed the trial and Dreyfus had been targeted because he was Jewish. In 1898, famous French novelist Émile Zola wrote an open letter to the president, knowing it would bring worldwide attention to the affair. In it, he declared the court-martial of Alfred Dreyfus a gross miscarriage of justice and a stain on the honor of France. The scandal attracted international attention, and under the glare of public opinion, the French authorities were forced to order a retrial. After 4 years in exile, Dreyfus returned to France.
Dreyfus had to come back to be judged again. This is a picture. When they arrived close to the French coast, it was raining, it was a very bad weather, and there was waiting for him Celestin Hennion and two gendarmes. Celestin Hennion, very well known, was the one who was in charge of the security of Dreyfus. They were very scared about riots and about assassinat, how do you say, crimes? Yes, assassinations and crimes. So he had a very hard job. I suggest that you go to Rennes, you know, where was the trial happened.
In August 1899, Dreyfus faced a second court-martial. This time it was not just his freedom at stake, but the very ideals of the French Republic. Davina's great-grandfather, Celestin Hennion, was to play a crucial role.